The other thing is who gets hurt from this? The American people. The way to deal with in the national security of the United States, the way to deal with this is pretty simple. We got special ops forces. I mean, a dead man can't leak stuff. This guy's a traitor, a treasonist, and he has broken every law of the United States. The guy ought to be, and I'm not for the death penalty, so if I'm not for the death penalty, the only one to do it, illegally shoot the son of a b****.
Well, what about it?
Oh, I can't believe I believe it. I'm along with Bob. You know what? When he comes out and says that he's holding everyone hostage, that he's going to release the names of people, putting them in harm's way to be killed or whatever, soldiers and people who are undercover with the CIA, this guy's got to go. And nobody should hold this country, and we do agree with each other, Bob, immune him.
Go ahead, Joel.
I think that the doomsday files, the U.S. is probably going to be prepared to have those released if it means the permanent end of WikiLeaks, because you cut the head off the snake, to quote King Abdullah. And I think that's what they want to do. Maybe through arrest, maybe otherwise.
This released by the Post today, it says that some of the documents that were originally leaked in the original cables outline some targets that if they were destroyed, disrupted, or exploited, there would be immediate and deleterious effect on the United States. I mean, if there's any question on some of this stuff being dangerous and harmful and hurtful and possibly even deadly, there shouldn't be.
You know, I was a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State and sent out a lot of cables when I was doing that, and it was during the midst of the Panama Canal treaties and the SALT agreements. Some of that stuff, if it had been leaked, would have been very damaging. And on my own hand, forget people who had serious jobs in the State Department. This is much more serious than people initially thought. And as you get more and more into these cables, you notice there's more stories. $250,000 is a lot. You can put a lot of stories together.
And who wants to take this? Go, Bo, take this one. Meanwhile, Assange has called for President Obama's resignation if it can be proven that he approved spying by U.S. diplomats.
Well,
we want that, don't we? Don't we want to know what they're doing?
Let me tell you something. That was our biggest downfall. We didn't have the intelligence when Obama, when he was in Afghanistan, planning with the Taliban and al-Qaeda to bomb us. If we had informants in there, people that knew this was happening, we could have possibly averted it, like we have averted a lot of attacks in America. And without this spying, the thing that people don't want, without it, you're going to have dead Americans. And this little punk. Now I stand up for Obama. Obama, if you're listening tonight, you should take this guy out, have the CIA take him out.
I really do think this is what the death of reason looks and sounds like. We have a couple things going on in this clip. We've got three guys, one of which advocates the murder without due process of a citizen, and we have two other talking heads agreeing with him. Now, by his own analysis, he says he doesn't agree with the death penalty, which is a supposedly legal remedy to a crime that is imposed by a jury that is impartial through the judicial system. But he does agree and advocate the use of unlimited executive power to call for the assassination of a citizen, which means he isn't against people being killed. He's against the judicial process, which means that he is at best only 1/3 American. Because if you believe in the political process of America, you have to believe in a division of power between a legislative, executive, and judicial branch. If you don't, and you only believe in the unlimited, unchecked power of an executive, you are a fascist. You are a totalitarian. You are a dictator. Or at least someone who supports a dictator. I find it very disturbing, this clip. And I want you to ask yourself, what have we become that on a main news network we can openly call and advocate for the murder of anyone? Of anyone. Then I want you to also ask yourself, What if these jokers, these talking heads, were openly calling for the assassination of an elected official? How is that any different? A life is a life. Now, this sort of thing happened in Nazi Germany. Lots of prominent Nazis called for, screamed for, demanded the assassination of many people in public that were adversarial to the Nazi Party. Nothing happened to them because they were Nazis. And you better believe anybody that asked in public for the assassination of the Führer in the early days of the National Socialist Party was instantly disappeared. Just like what these jokers want to happen to anyone who questions our government. The death of reason precedes the death of liberty. These people aren't thinking, they're feeling. What are you doing? So by this guy's very own unique form of reason, he says that the WikiLeaks compromises the safety, the lives of Americans. And that in order to protect the lives of Americans, since what the leaks have done is hurt the American people, is that what we need to do is terminate the lives of certain Americans, to kill people, to save the lives of others. Yeah, walk down that road. You walk down that road and everybody dies. Eventually. This is madness. Pure, unadulterated madness. You couldn't find crazy like this in Arkham Asylum.